When you think of the most venomous animal in the world, what comes to mind? Is it the saw-scaled viper? The box jellyfish? Or maybe the Indian red scorpion? Though all very dangerous, if you guessed any of those, you're wrong. The answer may surprise you. Yes, this odd-looking mollusk is the most venomous animal alive. It's called the cone snail. And while a snail may seem like an anticlimactic answer, it should not be underestimated. The venom of a single cone snail can potentially kill up to 700 people. Yikes! So how does it hunt? What happens if you get stung by one? And how is its venom used in medicine? There are over 1,000 species of cone snail that vary in size and appearance. Watch out for them if you're ever in Australia's Great Barrier Reef or off the coasts of Hawaii and California. They live in coral reefs and burrow in the shallow sand, emerging at night to hunt. Most of the time, the cone snail is slow and motionless. Should its favorite prey swim by, this sharpshooter will spring into action. Various species of cone snails will utilize different hunting tactics. They also make their own unique venom concoction depending on the prey they prefer. This can be worms, mollusks, or fish. The cone snail is a master of hook and line hunting. This involves it extending its proboscis to smell an unsuspecting meal. Then, nearly as fast as a bullet, it shoots out its harpoon-like tooth called a radula. In the blink of an eye, it skewers its prey at speeds exceeding 400,000 meters per second squared. The radula are attached to the venom gland, which pumps its catch full of toxins. Once the prey stops moving, the proboscis retracts into the snail's stomach. With its net hunting technique, it'll first engulf the prey in its proboscis and then shoot the radula inside its mouth. When hunting a school of fish, the cone snail releases insulin in the water. This hormone, which instantly drops blood sugar, will enter a fish's gills and make them sluggish. The cone snail will then snatch the comatose fish. If it's a species of cone snail that prefers worms, it'll release a pheromone-like chemical made by female worms. This lures in male worms looking for a date who will unfortunately find a hungry cone snail instead. Cone snail venom contains conotoxins that can shut down the muscles and nerve cells, leading to paralysis and death. Each creature can carry over 100,000 types of conotoxins, which is why it's impossible to create antivenom against it. Should you be stung by a deadly cone snail, you would first feel a burning sensation similar to a bee sting. Milder symptoms include fatigue, sweating, and changes to your vision. But depending on the potency of the venom, you could experience muscle paralysis, heart failure, or possibly fall into a coma. The sooner you get medical help, the better your chances are of surviving. Death can occur anywhere between 1 to 5 hours after the initial sting. While cone snails can and have killed humans, 36 to be exact, they will not hunt you. Fatalities are often from accidental encounters with beachgoers and scuba divers. Ironically enough, their deadly venom is being used in the name of medicine. In 2004, a painkiller called Prialt was released in the U.S. It blocks the pain signals in the spine, providing relief from chronic pain without the use of addictive opioids. Prialt's secret ingredient is conopeptide, the pain-killing conotoxin that the fish-eating cone snails inject into their prey. Scientists are also researching the snail's insulin. The insulin our pancreas makes takes about 30 minutes to lower blood sugar, while the snail's is instant. By combining snail and human insulin, scientists hope to create a more effective diabetes treatment. So, who's going to tell them that the frog they're holding secretes some of the most deadly toxins on Earth? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you might want to leave these psychedelic amphibians alone.
What am I supposed to do now?
While some animals sting or bite, our dart frog's poison is simply on their skin. Just one innocent touch can kill you. Poison dart frogs are only 2.5 centimeters in size, but their kaleidoscopic skin colors make them hard to miss. From bright blues to rousing reds, they know how to stand out. These frogs have evolved their aposematic coloration as a fair warning to anything that might want to mess with a dart frog, telling them to back off. They're the fashion icons of rainforests from Brazil to Costa Rica. The frogs secrete a milky substance that contains batrachotoxin. It's a deadly neurotoxin that attacks the nervous system. If you brush up against a dart frog, you go from paralysis to cardiac arrest in a matter of minutes. The poison's chemical makeup stops your muscles from communicating with your brain. Quick, someone's got to tell all the princesses out there that this is one frog they shouldn't kiss. One smooch would be the kiss of death. Even an amount of poison as small as 2 grains of salt is enough to kill a 68-kilogram person. No wonder some Amazonian hunters use dart frog secretions on the ends of weapons. It pretty much ensures a kill. In particular, one golden poison dart frog has enough secretions to kill 10 people. This species lives in a Colombian rainforest and is the most dangerous dart frog of them all. But dart frogs aren't born covered in deadly poison, ready to kill anyone who dares come near. Unlike most dangerous amphibians who create their poison internally, dart frogs acquire theirs through their diet. They eat an ant species which contains toxic alkaloid molecules, and they don't let any part of this meal go to waste. Poison dart frogs store the molecules in their glands and synthesize them into poison. After all, I guess you are what you eat.
It's time to put the ranch away.
Can you believe that despite all this, some people keep these lethal leapers as pets? Because their poison comes from what they eat, you can neutralize a dart frog by feeding it a strict diet of non-toxic insects. It's safe to handle a poison dart frog if it only eats bugs like fruit flies and crickets. But if you live in Hawaii or British Columbia, Canada, you'd be breaking the law if you kept a dart frog as a pet. These laws protect poison dart frogs and society at large. I don't even want to imagine what would happen if poisonous frogs overran our world. But due to deforestation, poison dart frogs are in danger of extinction. Their habitat is slipping out from under their tiny webbed feet. The humid environment is crucial to their survival, yet swathes of rainforest are slashed every year. Life's rough out there if you're just a little frog, even if the skin you're in has the power to kill. There's another cute, colorful, and deadly amphibian lurking through the treetops. You can meet the boomslang in this video. Using their brightly colored bodies to warn predators and secreting super potent toxins are what poison dart frogs do. There's a jellyfish so lethal, it can cause you to have a heart attack minutes after being stung. But that's not all. Most jellyfish species just float around in ocean currents waiting for their next meal. But not the box jellyfish. Find out their nifty trick that sets them apart from other jellyfish. Box jellyfish are not to be messed with. They are the most lethal jellyfish in the world. And just one of them has enough venom to kill 60 people in 2 minutes. Box jellyfish are equipped with over 60 tentacles, and each with up to 5,000 stinging cells. The cells hold venom-containing capsules called nematocysts. This venom contains multiple toxins, but as of yet, experts aren't sure which one makes them so deadly. Proteins in the venom called porins can destroy red blood cells. This is one theory of why it's so lethal. Another study suggests that there are 2 distinct proteins that specifically attack heart cells. What we do know is the venom causes Irukandji syndrome. Symptoms include a lot of pain, nausea, and high blood pressure. As a result, it can lead to bleeding in the brain and, you guessed it, death. These are as deadly as they get. So what places should you avoid so you don't end up swimming with the fishes? Or should I say, jellyfishes? There are about 50 species of box jellyfish in the world, found in oceans around Indonesia, the Philippines, and Malaysia. They're also common in the coastal waters of northern Australia. They aren't deep ocean dwellers like other jellyfish. They prefer their home to be warm and shallow. And because of that, they can wash up on beaches, increasing the chances of humans being stung. It's difficult to give an accurate number of deaths caused by box jellyfish each year, but it's estimated that globally, 50 to 100 deaths are the result of stings. These numbers are almost impossible to track since many cases go unreported. For instance, in Timor-Leste, a country in Southeast Asia, villagers don't take victims to the hospital. Instead, they just bury them under a tree. But enough of how deadly they are. There are some amazing traits box jellyfish have over other species of jellyfish you may not have known. Instead of moving by ocean currents, you may be surprised to know that they can actually swim, which kind of makes them scarier. Researchers believe they actively hunt for prey like shrimp and small fish. And if you're going hunting, you're going to need some way of looking for them, right? Unlike other species, box jellyfish have eyes. And not just 2 eyes, oh no! They have 24 simple and complex eyes that help them see. Then, the cherry on top. They can be rather large. The biggest is the Australian box jellyfish with its body that can measure 30 centimeters in diameter and tentacles up to 3 meters long. With all these traits added up, we're talking about a real-life sea monster here. This little worm might look like a cuddly underwater caterpillar, but let me warn you, do not touch it. One sting from this unassuming sea creature will have you writhing in pain for hours. Imagine you're a scuba diver enjoying a morning swim, and then, bam! You get hit with a painful sting that quickly radiates up your arm, and the burning sensation is so intense you think your arm might fall off. So how does a tiny worm deliver such a painful sting? Could it kill you? And you've got to see what this little worm does during mating season to believe it. This is a bearded fireworm. Typically spanning 5 to 10 centimeters in length, these unassuming tube-like creatures make their homes in the lush coral reefs of the mid-Atlantic and Mediterranean waters. They enjoy a quiet lifestyle, spending their days hanging out on the muddy sea floor and minding their own business. They can even change their dark red color to better blend in with their surroundings and hide so they aren't disturbed. Until they feel threatened, that is. That's when the claws come out. Or should we say, their spikes. Because if you brush up against a fireworm, you will definitely feel its wrath and understand how it got its name. The white fuzz covering the fireworm's body is made of tiny, extremely sharp spikes filled with venom. And it's no ordinary venom either. It's a neurotoxin, and researchers think it's a chemical cocktail rather than just one strain of traditional venom. So when you brush up against a fireworm, its tiny, almost invisible spikes break off in your skin and release the toxins. Immediately, you'll feel like it's burning you, and the pain can last for hours. Thankfully, the toxins from a fireworm aren't strong enough to kill a person, but I still wouldn't recommend getting stung. Along with the whole burning skin and sharp splinters thing, it can cause dizziness, inflammation, and numbness. So it's just not a good time. The spikes aren't just for stinging unsuspecting scuba divers, though. They're also incredibly useful. The worms use their spikes to help them move, dig, and as a way to anchor themselves into their surroundings. Fireworms only puff up and become venomous when they feel threatened. But if you think it's bad to get stung by a fireworm, imagine being devoured by one. They don't live in coral reefs just because they like the view. They feed on the coral too, and they don't do it gently. Did you know that coral reefs contain living animals inside the rocky exterior that we can see? Fireworms do. They eat their prey by wrapping their bodies along the reefs and biting off the tips of the shells. Then they suck out their prey's flesh, sometimes feeding in a single spot for upwards of 10 minutes. When they've had enough, they only leave a pointed tip on the coral. They also munch on shrimp, squid, and other crustaceans. And though they pack a mean punch, fireworms aren't all bad. During the mating season, they're really quite romantic. Rather than hiding in the shadows like usual, the little worms swim to the surface in search of mates. That's when the show really starts. Fireworms are bioluminescent, lighting up their bodies to find one another in the water. The females create a green glow to attract the males, who show off in return with flashing light displays. All this and I can't even get a text back? Okay. Fireworms are a perfect example of why size doesn't always matter in the animal kingdom. Sometimes the tiniest creatures can do the most damage, just like fireworms do to us and coral reefs. If you're in the mood to learn more about some of the most terrifying critters alive, check out our next video on the most extreme creatures on Earth. They're seriously dangerous and put on light shows for their loved ones. That's what bearded fireworms do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures.